Okay, so have you ever noticed how our phones, they're getting like ridiculously smart these days?
Yeah, it's kind of unbelievable, right?
Well, it turns out buildings can be pretty tech savvy too. Who knew? We're going deep on something called a smart building maturity model today.
Yeah, the smart building maturity model.
It's like imagine a glow up guide, but for buildings to go from being, energy hogs
Yeah.
to eco efficient superstars.
Yeah, that's a really good way to put it. So this model, it's basically a roadmap,
Right.
right? It lays out, like step by step, how building owners can really up their game. And it's not just about fancy tech either.
Yeah.
It's about saving money, being smart with resources, and honestly, doing our part for the planet.
Which, let's be real, is kind of a big deal these days.
Huge.
So, no more delaying the inevitable.
Let's jump in.
Let's start with the basics.
They're calling it all or nothing. It's kind of like, when you leave your lights on 24/7?
Oh, yeah.
Even when you're on vacation, like the whole house is lit up.
Yeah, not exactly the best way to save on that energy bill.
Well, like a guaranteed way to rack up those costs.
Yeah.
So this all or nothing level, that's really like the old school approach.
Old school.
Think manual controls for everything.
Yeah.
No automation, just like pure energy going to waste.
Too inefficient.
Yeah. And studies have actually shown that even simple improvements, just basic tweaks to how you manage a building, that can lead to some serious savings.
Really? Like, how much are we talking?
We're talking, in some cases, up to 20% just from some smarter management.
Wow, 20%. That's huge.
It is.
Clearly, there's room for improvement for a lot of buildings out there.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
So what comes after this all or nothing phase?
Okay, so the next step up, this is where building owners are starting to get a clue about dollars and time.
Dollars and time.
At this level, they're tracking energy costs.
Right.
They might even have some really skilled engineers, the kind of people who are tweaking things every day.
So they're aware of the problem, but they're still stuck with, like, manual adjustments.
Exactly. They might even look at things like Energy Star ratings,
Sure.
which is a start, but it's like a snapshot. It doesn't tell the whole story.
It's like trying to manage your money by only checking your bank balance once a month.
Exactly.
Helpful, yeah, but not exactly a recipe for real control.
Not at all.
Okay, I see the limitation there. What they need is like real-time insight.
Real time, yes.
Like a check engine light, but for their entire building.
Exactly.
And hey, what do you know? That's the next level.
It is. This is where the fun begins.
Mhm.
This is where the energy management system, or what we call the EMS, comes in.
The EMS.
The EMS. So think of it like the building's nervous system.
Okay, the nervous system.
It's gathering data from all over, analyzing it, looking for patterns, and then if something seems off, bam, it sends an alert to the building manager. Hey, something's up. Go check it out.
So instead of like relying on someone to physically notice a problem, like, oh, this light is flickering or this room is freezing, the EMS is like, nope, something's wrong. I'm telling you right now. But it can't actually like fix the problem itself, can it?
That's the next level.
Yeah.
So at this point, it's telling you something's wrong. It's sending up a flare.
Right.
But that's where its buddy comes in, which we call the building management system, or you guessed it, the BMS.
Okay, the BMS.
The BMS, think of this as the brain.
Okay.
This is what controls everything that's happening in the building, all the functions, all the systems. The EMS, the nervous system, says, hey, my left leg is tingling, something's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And the BMS is like, okay, I'm going to send some signals down there, try to fix it.
I see.
But at this check engine light level, it's still, someone has to see that alert, interpret it, and tell the BMS what to do. It's not automatic yet.
It's getting there.
It's getting there.
Okay, so that brings us to, I think, like the holy grail of smart buildings, right?
Oh, yeah.
The level where we finally achieve like peak optimization.
Peak optimization.
Command and response.
That's it. That's the goal,
Okay.
right?
What can buildings do at this level that's like so revolutionary?
Okay, imagine this. A single dashboard. You open it up and you see everything, I'm talking everything, happening in your building in real time. We're talking energy use, not just overall, but down to each individual room. Occupancy patterns, like who's in the building, what spaces are being used,
Wow.
even like the weather outside.
That's amazing.
It's all connected. And here's the key. It's not just about seeing the data. It's about the building using that data to make intelligent decisions automatically without you even having to lift a finger.
So the building can basically like think for itself.
Basically, yeah. It's learning your patterns.
That's all.
So let's say it's the middle of summer, sweltering hot outside, right? And there's a meeting room that's usually empty, but it's booked for a big meeting in the afternoon.
Okay.
This command and response system, it knows that, okay, It's been tracking that room. It knows it's usually empty.
So smart.
So instead of blasting AC all day to keep it cold, it'll wait, and then,
Wow.
like right before the meeting, it'll pre-cool that room. So it's perfect, but it's not wasting energy all day long.
Wow, that is amazing. It's not even just about saving energy at that point. It's optimizing like the entire experience for everyone in the building.
Exactly. And it goes even further than that. At this command and response level, buildings can actually participate in something called demand response programs.
What's that?
So think of the energy grid, right? It's this balancing act.
Okay.
There are peak times when everyone's using a ton of energy, like the hottest part of the day.
Right.
And then there are, off-peak times when demand is lower.
Sure.
These programs, they basically allow buildings to, like, reduce their energy usage just slightly during those peak times.
So they're helping out the grid.
Exactly. It's like teamwork on a massive scale.
So it's not just benefiting the building, it's benefiting the entire community.
Exactly. And by reducing those peak demands, you're helping prevent blackouts, you're making the whole system more efficient. It's amazing.
It's like buildings are becoming like responsible citizens. They're part of something bigger.
That's a great way to put it. Responsible citizens. That's exactly what they are. And here's another thing. It's not just about energy management. All this data, it can be used for so much more. You can use it to optimize how you're using space, streamline maintenance, like know when something needs fixing before it even breaks. You can even use it to improve the health and well-being of the people inside the building.
Like air quality sensors.
Yeah, like air quality, lighting, all sorts of things. It's really remarkable when you think about it.
It sounds like we're on the verge of a smart building revolution.
We are. We're living in it.
Yeah.
And the exciting thing is, we're just getting started.
It's true. It's true. From like flipping light switches on and off
Yeah.
to buildings that practically run themselves. It's pretty mind-blowing how far we've come. So, what's next? If buildings can learn and adapt in real time, I mean, what does that mean for our cities, for our workplaces, even for our homes? It's a lot to think about, right?
A lot to think about.
That's something for everyone to ponder, how these smart buildings will shape our world.